We're going to spark Twitter with this main event, Todd. Trust me. Nigel and the guys will be typing up plenty here as we rejoin Friday Night Fights from Huntington, presented by Corona Extra. Glad to have you back ringside for our main event, where everybody's wondering if the local boy can impress. Chris Algieri and Emmanuel Taylor. Algieri from right here in Huntington. You see he has the height advantage, the reach advantage. He is 18-0. Hometown unbeaten, 8th consecutive fight here at the Paramount Theater. All his fights have been in New York. Highly educated professional, we told you, has his master's degree. We always discuss the precious last moments of preparation for a fight. Today, Chris Algieri here in his own backyard gave us all access to see what fight day is really like for a main event participant.
You know, my family is a very tight-knit group of people. You know, my brother's my best friend. You know, I live with him and his wife and his 3 children, you know, 3 boys, and then I also live with my mother and my father. We're in one big household. My family supports everything I do. Now, there's been ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I can trust that I have their full support. This is a, it's kind of a superfood smoothie that I make every morning. Sometimes I use different ingredients, but, you know, today, you know, for fight day, I want to get as much nutrients in as possible.
Yeah, I'm sitting here out here shuffling for my brother so he can get his sprints in. He usually gets his sprints in before a fight. You know, I just want to get it done so he doesn't get out here and get hurt. It's always rough, you know. You know, your brother, it's like having yourself in it. It's tough. You'd rather do it yourself, or it's just hard to watch. You know what I mean? Even if he's doing well, you know, you never know.
And it's an important thing for a fighter to feel that they look good. You know, whether they do or they're not, as long as they feel like they do. You know, your self-image is really important walking into a ring.
Fight day is more difficult because the reality that he's going to be fighting this evening, it all comes to this point. All the training that he's done, and it's hard. I just want it almost like to be over. So I tend to be very, very busy, as does Michael. Very busy, and then time passes. I relax. The next morning when he comes and says, Mom, I love you, we did it again. You ready?
And now. Love you, Mom. Thank you. Now I'm ready.
And now we're ready. By the way, Chris Algieri's mother does not attend his fights, nor does she watch on television. She just wants to receive a phone call saying he's okay afterwards. This is going to be more than okay. How about Teddy bringing us the live fight plan up in the ring, brought to you by Corona Extra.
Are you ready for a Valentine's Day fight plan? All right. Well, first of all, I hope Cupid has a good chin. Listen, Valentine's Day is all about the heart. I hope all you ladies have received your flowers and chocolates. And let's find out right now whose heart is going to be broken right here in the ring in our main event. Let's start now with your favorite, the undefeated local Chris Algieri. I'll be Algieri. Taylor's gonna come. Algieri's gonna have to box, use his legs a little bit, keep more balance, and turn. And he's gonna also have a chance to throw looping shots around the gloves of Taylor when Taylor puts those earmuffs on. Now, let's find out what Taylor's gotta do. I know you don't like it, but what Taylor's gotta do if he's gonna win the fight. I'll be Taylor Algieri. Taylor's gotta bring the heat, and he should bring it behind the jab, press forward. And notice that when he gets inside, well, Algieri puts the earmuffs on too. He goes into that peekaboo. And when he does, work the body, bang, bang, bang. And then one other thing, look and be ready, because Algieri's not gonna stay there and take the punches. He's gonna look to escape. When he looks to escape, bang, bang, jump right with him. Should be a good fight. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
A great fight plan here. And Teddy, as we're ready for Algieri and Taylor, and we send it up to the ring to David Diamante.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring from Edgewood, Maryland, Emmanuel Transformer Taylor.
Emmanuel Taylor, 4 years a pro, having turned pro at 19 years old, based out of Maryland. Hasn't fought since last March. Has the higher quality wins. Ray Serrano, Victor, Caio, was actually knocked down against Caio in that last fight, came back to score a TKO. Really firmly believes that Algieri has all the pressure on him. He says he's the one stepping up. He's the one that's been taking the easy route. And it's not going to be good for him tonight, says Taylor.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, the fighting pride of Huntington, Chris Algieri.
Former top kickboxer. Stopped doing that at 23. He's been boxing since his pro debut at 24. He's built up his record mostly against more limited competition. So we'll see what happens tonight against Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and we welcome you to the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, for the featured bout of the evening. Brought to you by Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. Chairwoman in attendance, Melvina Lathan. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest ringside, Julie Letterman, John McKay, and John Potteray. Your referee, Harvey Dock. All right, fight fans, we are set to go with the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in the junior welterweight division. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, USA, the fight starts now. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black with silver. Official weight, 141 pounds. Professional record, 17 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. From Edgewood, Maryland, introducing Emmanuel Transformer Taylor. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears blue with white. He weighed in at a ready and even 142 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 18 fights, 18 victories, 8 of them coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the fighting pride of Huntington, New York, Chris Algieri.
Emmanuel. Trunks are good. We went over the instructions already. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Harvey Dock, the referee, is there, scheduled for 10.
All the fights for Algieri have been in, you got it, state of New York, most of them right here in this theater. But Taylor, no stranger, Joe, to fighting here. He's fought here before in this arena.
As you mentioned, 8th consecutive fight here at the Paramount Theater for Algieri. As we've told you, among those insiders in the business, they say this is a big opportunity for Algieri. Could be primed if he can move his mark to 19-0 of cashing in, as there are many named fighters between 140 and 147 pounds looking for an opponent that would fit this bill.
I don't know if the home crowd will help Algieri in the ring, but if it comes to a decision and it's a close decision, well, maybe the home judging could help. We'll worry about that later. Right now, I'm looking for a good fight.
Taylor tried to come over the top with that right hand.
Both fighters will go into that peekaboo. Both guys take their turns putting those earmuffs on, and that means both are looking in the mirror, and they both see the same thing. An opportunity to go to the body. Right there, you saw the earmuffs on by Taylor, or an opportunity maybe to go behind the glove, behind the ear of each fighter, as I showed in the fight plan. Taylor was on the floor in his last fight.
There's a right hand to the body from Algieri. He was knocked down against Victor Cayo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Experienced fighter, Cayo. As you can see, Algieri, tall and longer, gave up his height right there. I think he needs to box on the outside. Pick off Taylor as he comes, turn him, step and turn, keep him off balance a little bit. And Taylor, well, he needs to get into first, second, third gear. Come forward, press Algieri. And when he gets Algieri inside, when he gets him covered up, bang to that body. A little bit of a slow start for both guys, maybe more so for Taylor. I'm not shocked. Taylor's been very inactive. 11 months his last fight, go back 3 fights. He was off for 11 months. Not a good way to go into any fight, especially with an undefeated fighter at home. And it's probably a good way to give up some early rounds while you're fighting that rust instead of fighting your opponent.
Algieri doubles up that left hand, finished to the body that time.
Algieri gave up that height. Taylor did nothing about it.
Pushed off once they got to the inside. That was a missed opportunity.
You can see already Algieri wants to throw that looping right hand. That time he went to the body, but he likes to throw that looping right hand around the glove of Taylor. But Taylor gives him that target.
Go, Chris. Let him go.
Pressure, that's what the doctor ordered if you're in the corner of Taylor. But you got to put the pressure behind the jab, Joe, not just walk in.
Coming to the end of round 1 of our main event here on Friday Night Fights. Stay with us.
I talked about Taylor going into that peekaboo, pressing forward, but no jab, and it allows Algieri to do that. Take advantage of those earmuffs being on. Take advantage of that defensive position, upstairs, downstairs.
He's got nothing firing back at him, so you can tee off.
Watch your head.
Round 2 here at the Paramount, where both guys have had recent success. The hometown of the fighter in the blue and white trunks, the unbeaten Chris Algieri.
Taylor, not 6 years younger than Algieri. He better start using that energy, that youth.
Algieri got a later start to pro boxing. Turned pro in 2008. That was after he had success as a titleist in kickboxing.
Exactly, Joe. No amateur boxing background for Algieri. All kickboxing. 5 amateur kickboxing and 20 pro kickboxing matches or fights for Algieri. And for Taylor, well, he had a heck of a lot of amateur fights. 220. So you would think that that advantage would serve him, would serve Taylor tonight. But it's not going to serve him if he doesn't press behind that jab.
2-punch combination by Algieri.
Again, you're seeing a slow start by Taylor.
Now here's where you talk about each guy taking their turn covering up, because Algieri is just doing that. And the chance of Algieri going up here in Huntington.
I don't see a sweat on either fighter a lot, but really I don't see any on Taylor. And again, he laid off 11 months, so he's got some rust. And with no sweat going, no wonder he's coming out of the gate a little slow. If I was in the corner of Algieri, I might say, you know what? Pick it up a little bit early on before this guy gets warmed up. He's cold, he's dry. Go out there a little faster maybe than we planned. In other words, take advantage of what's in front of you. You gotta have eyes in that ring. You gotta see what makes sense. Right there,
combination.
Algieri sees that peekaboo, and he goes to work.
It included a left uppercut as well as a body shot in the middle of that combination by Algieri.
You know, I don't like that peekaboo when you just stand there and come up. Move your head, make the guy miss. Then you make the guy defensive. He can't put them together. But when you just come up like a heavy bag and you don't do anything, well, you're handcuffing yourself. You're inviting punches from your opponent.
Boy, and he gave Algieri that green light, and he hit the accelerator there for a moment.
Yeah, Algieri accepted the invitation. In other words, he's taking what's given him.
Probably enough to take this round. End of 2.
Again, you put those earmuffs on, well, Algieri knows what to do. You take advantage. You go to work, and then you split the guard with the uppercut. Because that's where the opening is.
Round 3 scheduled for 10.
Right clean.
Step up moment for Chris Algieri. Putting himself well so far. See the power punches in the last round. Doubling up Taylor, landing 14. Netting on 45% according to CompuBox tabulations.
Wasn't the memory of being on the floor in his last fight is bothering Taylor. Definitely hasn't gotten his engine going.
He definitely gets opportunities as once again showing that style that each man possesses of going peekaboo, of covering up, of allowing for the opponent to tee off.
And I think there's an opportunity in two
Keep him in
spots
front,
for
keep him in
Taylor
front.
that aren't there for Algieri. One spot is when Taylor does get in, he can maybe go with Algieri, as I talked about in the fight plan. Algieri's going to get out. He's not going to lay there. When he goes out, anticipate him going out. Step with him and anticipate him going to his left side, because that's where he moves. Algieri, for the most part, Joe, moves to his left. So if you're Taylor, you get inside, you know he's going to go out, step to your right, which would be the left of Algieri, and meet him there. But don't do that. Don't just come up and walk in. And that's what Taylor's doing right now. Nothing fancy. Algieri, longer, taller, controlling the outside, owning the outside. He's being very methodical. You know, it's like he's got a good fight plan. He doesn't want to make mistakes. He knows what that fight plan is. He knows who's going to be there. And he's going about it A to Z. Little red in the corner of the left eye of Algieri. Algieri has been cut over the right eye before.
Happened back in January of 2010. Injury against James Hope when he was cut over the right eye. Also broke his left hand and had surgery on that back in 2011.
You know, there's still no sweat going on the back of Taylor. That would concern me. I mean, again, didn't look like he warmed up a lot, and it's kind of shown himself because, again, he hasn't really gotten out of the driveway yet. He hasn't gotten on the main road yet. But I don't see any sweat. I wonder if he had trouble making weight.
A hot, smelly car.
Joe and Teddy with you ringside here in Huntington, New York on Long Island for round 4 of our main event. And it was great to see Chris Algieri giving us access for his final preparations today and everything that goes into that. Blessing from his mother, the nerves at home, the haircut, the nutrition, and then opening up his legs and his lungs a bit as he fights here in his hometown for the 8th consecutive time here at the Paramount.
Right there, Algieri, conscious, I think, of how much he's been moving to his left and switched it up a little, moved to his right a little bit, trying to let Taylor know I can move either way, where maybe it's harder for Taylor to do what I suggested he does. Step to the side and catch Algieri moving out.
3 rounds to zip, says Teddy. And the fans at home voting along on Facebook agree by a wide margin favoring Chris Algieri. You can see a little more pronounced redness in the corner of that left eye.
Nope, don't push him, don't push him.
Well, how did you not have Algieri winning 3 rounds to nothing? I mean, so far, Taylor hasn't left the dressing room.
Keep him clean, keep him clean.
Watch Algieri when he gets inside. He'll come up and he'll do that. He'll work. But sometimes he'll fall in a little, like he did there. And when he falls in, that's what you want Taylor to do. Catch him as he falls in. Particularly with the uppercut, Joe.
Taylor let those hands go and did mix in an uppercut that time as Algieri fell in.
Yeah, if I'm Taylor, if I'm in the corner of Taylor, I'm going to tell him, look, put the pressure on. And when you get it on him, Algieri, every once in a while, he'll fall into you. Be ready. Be ready to time him and fire at him, especially the uppercut, when he falls in.
No.
You know, Taylor can turn southpaw if he has to, or if he wants to. He might have to, and he might want to, fairly soon. He doesn't start winning more rounds. Although he's doing a lot better this round. Well, maybe I was right. Maybe it just took a long time for Taylor to warm up with that inactivity of 11 months and just not being warmed up in the dressing room enough.
Yeah, read the engine a bit here in round 4. That's Mike Algieri, who's been nervously watching from ringside as his brother Chris prepares himself to continue on here against Emmanuel Taylor. It's great to see Mike and the role he plays with his brother. Such a caring role. We saw him out there shoveling away the ice and snow and debris so that he could open up his legs and get some sprints in earlier today right here in Huntington.
Why you would want to do sprints the day of a fight?
You know, Teddy, it was the first thing I said when I watched and viewed all that footage in the truck earlier today. And I thought to myself, would Teddy have one of his fighters running sprint intervals the day of a fight? But not only that, but on road surfaces that are filled with ice and snow and loose gravel.
And not be here tonight. But so far, so good. Who am I to argue? Unless things turn around later in this fight and Taylor comes on really strong, then I might say something. And he's starting to come on really strong.
This is the most sustained aggression we have seen out of Emmanuel Taylor.
This is what I expected when we did the fight plan. Coming forward, but of course Algieri doesn't know how to lose yet, and he answers right back, and he makes his crowd happy.
What great return of fire by the unbeaten Chris Algieri, doubling up that left hand, mixing in hooks and uppercuts.
This is where you can feel a crowd sometimes. You know, when you're in the midst, in there, getting a little tough, and you need that little push. Besides the push you have internally, from that voice inside, that voice outside here with all these fans. Doesn't hurt. There's the opportunities for Taylor again, Joe. You know, they take turns putting those earmuffs on.
Yep. Try to split the guard with the right hand, Taylor. And now there's that left hand again. Watch Mike. You can see him almost boxing along and calling out the shots, vicariously living along in the ring with his brother, Chris.
See, there's the opportunity again. We talked about the fight plan. Algieri goes into that peekaboo. Taylor needs to walk in, take him up on it, go to work, and be ready to catch him as he goes out. So this is where I think Taylor needs to be ready to step to the side, to his right, catch Algieri, escaping right there. Should have stepped over to the side. This is where a corner needs to point that out. Taylor might not see it. The corner should see it.
Fifth round between these two.
You know, there was a heavyweight that came from around here, Jerry Cooney, that used to have a pretty good left hand. Kind of like Algieri right there. Use a jab, hook to the body, and then throw the uppercut. And once again, that hook to the body, and then switching to the uppercut, splitting the guard, finding the empty space. Good job by Algieri.
You actually see gentleman Jerry Cooney in that replay, sitting right behind the ringside judge, Julie Letterman in the red, right across the rings.
Julie Letterman has her appropriate Valentine's Day attire, color.
I would expect nothing less out of Julie. Longtime friend of ours.
Does a good job.
Is a judge of prominent stature in the main events in New York-based fights.
Since we're talking about people on that side of the ring, Keith Sullivan, who serves as counsel for the New York State Athletic Commission, is also seated over there. Does a great job. Looks out for the fighters. Looks out for the sport. And right now, Taylor's looking out for an opportunity. I think for a moment, where Algieri maybe goes into that cover off. Tell you, whoever used their jab right now, not a lot going on. Whoever jabs right now has a good shot to win this round. Because neither guy engaging each other too much. Neither guy going into the peekaboo, putting those earmuffs on. So the jab is going to win the day right now.
Taylor doubling up that left hand moments ago, utilizing the jab.
Yeah, Taylor's
now he
got
does
a
it
little,
again. At least just touching him. At least just putting it out there.
Smart enough to know what we're talking about. That simply can steal the round. That alone. And Taylor seems to understand that a little more than Algieri. There's those earmuffs. A little surprised Taylor doesn't walk in that front door when he sees that. It's like a welcome mat.
Not significant scoring by Taylor here in the past minute and a half, but at least doubling up that jab, occasionally throwing off the right hand.
I agree with you 100%, Joey. And there's a right
And it gets
hand
backed up then by Algieri.
But a right hand before that by Taylor.
Yep.
This is where the noise of the crowd can influence judges in a close round and maybe steal a round for the hometown favorite.
Right here in Huntington, where you mentioned their other hometown favorite from a generation ago, Jerry Cooney. Well, look who Bernie found ringside. Bernardo.
Gentlemen, Jerry Cooney, the pride of Huntington, New York, but there's somebody who wants to take the crown.
New guy.
And he has one of those same weapons, that left hook. What do you think of Chris Algieri?
You know, I got to tell you, I've been watching him ever since. Joey DeGuardia's doing a great job, and he's just maturing and he's doing a lot of work out in California and Vegas, and you see it tonight. He's much more of an turning into like an old pro, moving nice, making a couple mistakes, but listen, he's outboxing that tough kid from Maryland who can really fight a lot. So it's really great to see his progress and to be out here in my hometown. Well, I used to be my town. Now I got to get out of town.
I mean, what is it about Algieri that has this crowd that used to be your home crowd so pumped up?
Because he comes and he fights, and he's got a big heart, and people love him. And he's a very bright kid. I got to spend some time with him. He really figures out the game, and it's so nice to have that around. I'm glad to step. I'm glad to step aside.
Always good to spend time with great fighters like Jerry Cooney. Back to you guys.
Big smile. Gentleman Jerry Cooney, 32 years removed now from the fight with Larry Holmes, Teddy.
Yeah, that was quite an event, that fight.
That's a good way to describe it, because it really was in terms of what it meant on the social landscape of America. It was more than just a fight.
Taylor looking for left hooks. Algieri right hands. If Algieri's right hand is straight, it will beat the left hook.
Stop. Stay off his head, stay off his head.
Tried to bring that right hand in behind the jab, but then did finish with the left hook at the end of that combination. As for a moment, Algieri was just jousting with the left. At his scorecard, 57-57, with Taylor coming on the last 3 rounds.
What do my guys have? What do my guys?
Viewers, Facebook fans have it 5 rounds to 1 for Algieri.
Right.
They love Taylor in that last round, but they like Algieri in rounds 4 and 5.
I think they're busy paying a little too much attention to their sweethearts right now. Maybe not as much attention to the ring. That's the only way I can see that they're off from my score. But
Taylor didn't give them anything to exactly gain momentum with in the first 3 rounds. There's the combination that finished with the left uppercut from Algieri again.
You know, if Taylor does this, Algieri will win every moment of every round. And Taylor just, as we said in the fight plan, just walks in. He does it without a jab. Algieri will control the outside. He'll pot shot him. So this is the chance where Taylor, then he stepped with him as he went out. And that's exactly what we talked about in the fight plan. Step with him when he goes out. You know he's going to go out. You know he's going to take, he's not going to stand there and take punishment. Be ready to go with him. You know, if you're Taylor, you go inside Algieri and fights you in and you'll bang it a little bit. You know that, as Jerry Cooney said, he's smart. He's not going to stay there and take punishment. He's going to get out. So, go meet him as he goes out. Taylor did that one time this round. There goes the southpaw stance of Taylor Joe. First time tonight.
See what he does with it. See if he tries to turn over that. Now he goes back to orthodox. And just giving Algieri something to think about here in the final moments of round number 7.
This is kind of the way we drew it up on the fight plan. Algieri covers up, Taylor goes in, goes to work, and then looks to catch him as he goes out. Just missed him. You know the problem there why he just missed him, Joe?
Why is that?
He threw it. He knew enough that he was going to go out to the side, so he altered his punch to the side. The trajectory of the punch to the side, but he didn't step with his feet.
Body didn't put his punch in the right position.
Exactly. But I tell you, on my scorecard, Algieri that round put himself in the right position to be ahead on my scorecard.
3 rounds to go here. As Algieri moves around ahead, according to Teddy.
Look, I'm sure these hometown judges probably haven't fallen apart to me. There's some good work, Joe, by Algieri again with that left hand.
He has scored well with the combination punching with the left hand, and now you can see some blood coming from the nose of Taylor.
He's got an educated left hand, Algieri.
He does.
You know, he'll jab, he'll hook to the body, he'll turn to the uppercut.
Stop.
And he finds the right time and the right place to throw, and that's really important. The right time, the right place. He sees Taylor gives him an opportunity to split the guard with that uppercut, and he seizes that. There it is. He seizes that opportunity. You know, it's just like a quarterback. We just finished the football season. You know, it's one thing to have a good arm. It's another thing to understand what pass to throw in what defense. You got to understand that. And right now, Algieri understands what punch to throw in what defense.
We just finished the football season. For your son, it's actually the meat of his season as he gets ready in his job as a director of scouting for the NFL draft. Algieri is much like some of those NFL prospects right now, hoping for a brighter future, hoping he can cash in.
There's no doubt about it. They put their hours in here, in any sport, any endeavor, any business. I know where my son is. He's in the meeting room with all those good people of Oakland going after, going over who the draft picks are going to be.
And Algieri is talked about among some boxing insiders now as potentially being a guy who'll be drafted to the next level to face a bigger name opponent and get a bigger payday. It's what we're hearing, somewhere between 140 and 147 pounds, where many of the names are looking for a fight.
Maybe they need to find a bigger arena, too, as he gets bigger.
Well, these 1,500 here at the Paramount really enjoyed 8 straight fights of Chris Algieri here in his hometown. Can he bring this one home with a victory? He'll have 6 more minutes to put it forth. Stay with us. In Long Island. Friday night fights in Suffolk County, New York. Not far away from our hometown. It's nice to have a home game, Teddy.
No, it is. Nice to not have to get on an airplane. Although you just got
Yeah, it's me about the past 24 hours of coming back from a Big Ten basketball to try to be here with you.
Oh, I appreciate the effort. So do all the folks at home. You know, I was just thinking in between the break that nobody talks about it much, but really there's been quite a bit of good fighters that have come from Long Island. We've had a good share.
This is with one of them moments ago, yeah.
Howard Davis Jr., the Olympian, gold medalist. As I said, Buddy McGurk, the world champion. Now he's a trainer. Jerry Cooney, of course.
And you go back to a generation or two ago, and some of the greatest fights of all time actually took place. A little bit east of here, but many fights took place on Long Island, Greater New York. Cinderella Man highlighting that.
Exactly.
James J. Braddock. 77-75 for Algieri. Dominating, according to the viewers at home.
I understand it. There were some rounds that were close. I gave it to Taylor, but I could see that. In those rounds, I thought Taylor was a little busier.
No.
And just hold the round a little more, you know, consistently. But there were spots where Algieri, towards the end of the round, scored maybe one good shot. And maybe that convinces you to give it to him. This will convince you to give it to Algieri as Taylor just covers up. And again, Algieri goes to work.
I really love what he does with the left hand. When he engages, when he decides to pull the trigger, really finishes well with that left hand.
Look, I'm not taking anything away or making excuses for the performance of Taylor. It's got a lot to do with what Algieri's doing in there. But to me, Taylor...
Oh, he almost clipped him with a hook, a short hook.
But to me, up until now, he's got a little something going to see how far he takes it.
I think he may have affected him with that short left hand, Teddy.
This is what I expected Taylor to do, and it's only been spurts of it. Very little spurts of it. It almost makes me think Taylor doesn't have enough energy in him. Like he didn't get the right gas today. You know, like he didn't eat carbohydrates last night. And he didn't get the pool of energy that he needs. That's how he's fighting to me.
Crowd sensing it. As we will listen into the corners prior to the final round.
We're down by 1 point. All we need right now, we need a knockdown. I got you, man. He all right, Doc. He all right. Okay. Okay. Let me give it to one.
You're just starting. This kid wants to go home, Chris. He wants to go home. This is round 1 for you.
Hey, Chris, remember that special combo? 6-4 tap boom? Hey, Chris, let it go. Let it go, baby. It's ready. It's ready. It's ready. You know the right time. Know the right time. See him with the earmuffs, and you let the flurry go, okay? And back to the jab, baby. You hear me? Back to the jab. Now you Chris. We ain't got hit the whole time. We ain't never getting hit, baby. Master box. Master box.
Chris, this is round 1 for you. Let's go.
It's interesting to hear Tim Lane and Keith Trimble in the corner of Algieri. Heard their confidence. You also heard them calling out a number combination. Said, remember that special combo? They said the 6-4.
I can tell you what the 6-4 was upstate in Catskill.
Let me take a guess at that.
Yes,
Your old number system. 6 would have been the right uppercut. 4 would have been the straight right coming off the... 5 would have been the left uppercut, correct?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Opposite,
Excuse me, 4 would have been the...
Yeah, the 6
right
would have been the
uppercut.
right hand to the body, and the 4 would have been the
4
right
was the
uppercut.
right uppercut,
You
right.
had the right idea, just had it just a little bit...
It's a double right hand, but it's the opposite of what he's been doing with the left uppercut left to the body. It's the right uppercut right to the body.
Exactly.
Because that 4 would come off your 3.
Yes, it would.
So enough of the numerology, and here are the numbers you need to know right now. 87-84 says Teddy Algieri to start this 10th and final round.
Yeah, I think the only numbers that Algieri is thinking about right now is the number 10. Getting through this 10th round, and he can celebrate another win.
And there's Mike Algieri. See him throwing his own right uppercut, left uppercut out there ringside.
A minute, 17 seconds left. At least for me, that's a time that Taylor needs to try to score a knockout. And you're not going to do that laying back and just covering, as Taylor does. And you're not going to do it just by getting engaged in a jabbing contest. Not now.
So a little pep to Algieri here as he knows he can bring this one home in front of the hometown crowd. Final spurt, final half minute.
Not a great fight, but an interesting fight. Not disappointing.
No. And it was good to see a good close-up display from Algieri, too, and find out what he's about a bit.
An interesting fight where you can see both fighters had their opportunities to take it to the other guy. Algieri took it a lot more.
And he should be taking it right down the street for a night of celebration. Huntington's Chris Algieri, right here in the Paramount, where he's done it time and time again. We will hear from the judges. Brother Mike's enjoying it. Stay with us.
Todd Grisham here in studio, out for our decision in just a minute. But first, we're going to talk about what happens next week. 8 men enter. Only 1 man leaves. The lightweights kick off our Boxino tournament, the first of 5 shows that'll be held starting next week in Laughlin, Nevada. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Each quarterfinal round will feature 4 6-round bouts. The final will be at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. Coming up next, it's Olbermann. But now let's go out for the decision in Huntington, New York.
Thank you, Todd. Let's look at the punch of the night. Foolproof punch of the night brought to you by Just for Men. Teddy Algieri's use of the left hand will show you this from the 5th round.
And it was the setup punches, the hook to the body that set up this, the punch of the night. The left uppercut at the right time, the right place, right up the middle.
All right, Teddy's scorecard here from Huntington as the unbeaten Algieri pulled away late 97-93. Facebook fans overwhelming support, you the viewer at home, for Algieri. Looking to move his mark to 19-0 up to the ring to David.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a nice round of applause out here for both of these fighters. After 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' score totals. John Potere, 98-92. Julie Letterman and John McKay both scored this bout 97-93. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, the fighting pride of Huntington, Chris Algieri.
I can't argue with those scores, exactly how I had it. At least two of them.
Mark him down as 19-0, his 8th consecutive fight right here at the Paramount in front of his hometown fans. Chris Algieri impresses tonight in the main event of Friday Night Fights. Next week, it'll be Boxino. The tournament will be underway. For Teddy, Bernie, and Todd, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your night, including Oberman up next.